that's the part, is people aren't putting in the work. They're not putting in the work to get to really learn. And now with the AI, that's actually really has a dramatic impact on getting education, because I tell my students all the time, you guys are just going to get bought degrees and you're going to go out and not know how to do nothing. And if you don't execute and do, they're going to get rid of you, because it's going to come down to doing. Are you showing up and doing the work, right? Did you show up and learn the system? Did you show up and then put the system in place? Did you show up and then get to work, right? And so when people do, those who are willing and able come to the table, I want you guys all to put in the work. You're going to have to put in the work. And that is where we're lacking. And unfortunately, you know what, Sheryl, that's going to just continue, especially with the technology that has kind of divided us even more. But we're going to see a huge shift in our workforce with it. And it will be coming down to, can you really get the job done? Right. And if not, out the door you go. Right.
Well, in our industry specifically, we had the biggest shakeup that we've had in 30 years last August, and there's so much confusion about the buyer's agent's compensation and paperwork and all of that. But what it means is that people who were not having to negotiate for their pay are now having to negotiate for their pay. And they're losing their minds over it. They don't even know what to do. People are leaving our industry. I haven't heard the numbers as to how many have left the National Association of Realtors, but it's been a major shakeup, and people don't know how to deal with the changes. The pros do, and the pros this is a market where pros shine. Because when you're talking to somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about, and then you talk to someone who does know what they're talking about and who actually cares,
that part.
And that stands, that people are like, yeah, I want more of that.
Yeah, it's the caring part. It's the human touch part. And I realized, like, as I continue to grow and I realized, like, it's because people just don't love anybody anymore. Like, people just don't care anymore. And that's just really so sad. Like, our empathy rates have really dramatically dropped. And it's really empathy that opens the door and holds space that's safe for people to heal and grow and evolve. Like, buying a home is a major purchase.
Right. Well, in the entrepreneurship journey as well, people look at, I can speak from the real estate space. People look at, well, I got into the business because I like people and I like homes. Okay. Do you know that you need more than that? You need to be able to get clients. And how do you get clients? There's a lot of different ways that you can go about it, but you have to know that your business is not just because you like people and you like homes. You have to be able to figure out how to get those people to trust you,
right there,
to value the services that you bring, and to hire you. Because otherwise, I think the number changes, but I think it's something like 80% of the people that go into the real estate business fall out of it within the first 2 years because they don't know how to secure the clients. They don't, or, whatever. But that's huge. Yeah. So I feel bad for those people because they put the energy in to get the license and were hopeful and all of that stuff. And then so many of them just fall away. And it's sad.
It is sad because that's a lot of wasted time and money.
Yeah.
And, but if they would have maybe looked at a different strategy or a different approach, or even mindset about it, because it really does come back down to the mindset. In your entrepreneurship journey, what do you think is one of the most important things that entrepreneurs should take to heart?
I would say what I just said is that anybody that works with you, trust is at the foundation of it. And there are no shortcuts to trust. You can destroy trust in a moment.
Yeah.
But it takes you a long time to build it. So knowing that the trust is there, or is the foundation, it means that everything that you do should be integrous. It should be trustworthy. You don't know who's watching you. You don't have any idea who's seeing how you deal with a situation. And I'm not just talking about real estate, because most people have some encounter with somebody before they work with them as a realtor. So if somebody sees me at church or in my community at the chamber or something
Yep.
like that, it's like, what are they seeing?
Yes.
And with the chamber involvement, I will say specifically, I see all the time somebody will pop in, they'll go to one luncheon or one meeting, and they're like, oh, that didn't work. From one meeting, what did you think was going to happen? My approach to it, and I learned this from someone when I first got into the commercial real estate space. She said to me, get involved with something you care about within the organization and be committed to that. So if you say, I'm going to join the chamber and I'm going to go, they have a luncheon once a month, I'm going to go to that luncheon once a month. Then go to the luncheon once a month. It's not going to help you when you just pop in here and there. People at my chamber luncheon, they pretty much, they're like, yeah, we know it's the luncheon. Cheryl's going to be here. Cheryl's going to be here. And that's been going on for 8 years. It didn't just happen overnight. And
Right.
I would say that trust and that it doesn't happen overnight are the two big things. And I did quick story. My son owns a commercial real estate company down in Hermosa Beach. And when he was in college, he was working with an investor, and that investor wanted him to take over the leasing. And so on his weekends, he was a full-time student at UCLA, but on his weekends, he was driving up and down the streets, making notes of addresses, and then doing research on who those property owners are. And he built, I don't know how what it is, but I think he has a database of like 1,600 prospective people that started when he was doing this on his weekends from university. And now he is an investor himself. He has his own commercial brokerage company. I so proud of him, as of course I am.
Of course. Of
But I
course.
remember him working like that. Now, don't he did go to a lot of parties. I mean that.
Of course he did.
But
But
he
he
did the
worked.
work. And now he's got the payoff with the work. And again, it speaks to all of those things that I've said earlier.
Basically, do the work, build the dream, live the
Yep.
life,
Yep.
right? And care for humans
Yep.
ultimately is the message here. And, you know, just to go back to kind of the future for you, I've always seen how gifted you are as a well of wealth, knowledge to share. And so building out some type of programs or courses to teach people and doing that, I definitely see that. I want to just speak that over your life again. I mean, I see you building these programs and drawing in people who are going to be ready to work and really learn. And that I think is a big piece of your legacy outside of what your son has already done as your legacy, right? But because you have a humanitarian heart and you are focused on serving humans and really caring for them, it is probably imperative that you do help raise up the next set of humans that will carry integrity and ethics behind this industry because they are getting, people that aren't really there for that purpose, right? And so there's going to be less of you and more of the trash, unfortunately.
Yes.
And so the torch is in your hand to pass it on as you share out your knowledge. And so I encourage you in that, and I encourage anybody, to definitely connect with you. But, as we get ready to wrap up and get ready to close out, which thank you so much for making the time. And I do want everyone to connect with you. I do have your information locked in it. But any just final words, any final thoughts that you want to share with my listeners just about, kind of where we're going in the future, what your thoughts are on entrepreneurship journey or even just life and overall and how to kind of manage where we're at in today's environment and things that happen. I teach grit all the time, and you mentioned it. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm always telling people, I'm an overnight success 30 years in the making at year 23. Okay. Which means we got 7 more years, baby, which is why I'm so excited about what's about to get happen. And I'm going to kick it into the gear with my coach. Right. But it's really that's how it is. And we live in a microwave society. And it's just getting faster now, especially with the bots, but any final thoughts, any final words of wisdom that you want to share and any homework, if you have any homework for him, I know you thought I was going to miss it, you guys. Absolutely not. It's still me here. Any homework, anything that you want to give them to say, Professor P gave us homework through Sheryl, you can tell them any final thoughts.
Well, I'm going to take the words of the great Zig Ziglar when he said, you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. And that is true. That's a huge truism for me in terms of homework. I'm not your student, so I didn't anticipate that question. But what I would say for homework, which is an excellent thing to do, is for whatever it is that you have in front of you, I want to, whatever that is, to go 3 layers deep. Why? Why do I want to be a realtor? Well, I want to be a realtor because I'm going to make a lot of money. Why is making a lot of money important to you? And well, it's important to me because it means then I can have a home and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, why is having a home? That's going 3 deep with your why. And that's an excellent exercise for anybody to do as they're looking at this entrepreneurial journey, because otherwise you could find yourself with your ladder against the wrong house. And that is not good.
That was so rich and beautiful. That was so rich and beautiful. It ties into critical thinking skills. I'm always telling my students, say, why, why, and why again? Open a thought. Why? And you go 3 layers deep. I want them to go deeper. I want you guys to go 4, 5, 6. Keep going until you've exhausted your whys. Then get up, walk around, have a glass of water, come back to your whys. Keep going, because what has happened is we're such surface dwellers in thought that we're so deeply controlled in this market, which is why consumerism is out of control, which is why you have trash showing up in the real estate and other industries. And you're so like, you don't know. And it's why you're texting people when a fire is burning and you really need water doused on you through a vocal voice coming through and being able to articulate to you in a calm manner what's really going on and how to handle the situation. And the human touch is never going to lose its power, everyone, or its importance. But unfortunately, we will see a great divide. And so the choice is yours to choose what side you're on. Thank you for choosing the human side. Sheryl, thank you for being with me today. It's been an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. Until next time, everyone, be well.
Bye.
Thanks everyone for listening today. I hope you received a lot out of that episode and are feeling energized and ready for whatever lies ahead. If you did enjoy it, I'd appreciate it if you'd share it out. Thank you in advance for doing so. Please also connect with me on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Natasha M. Palumbo. And until next time, be encouraged, be empowered, and as always, be well.